Distractions in action. Distractions in action. In our car, we are finding all kinds of ways to make driving more difficult. We are on board here with Captain Distraction and all of his distractions. The old school distractions include the loose pet, putting on your seatbelt, the sound of the radio, changing the radio's volume or station, drinking or eating in the car, passengers, combing your hair, putting on makeup, which I certainly don't do anymore, but that's another story. And that is just inside the car. What about the new forms of distractions that seem to be causing all the hollering? Holla, holla, holla. This new form is really your cell phone or PDAs, or as the lawyers call them, personal digital assistants that may have a GPS on it, or your emails or your text. Not only do drivers have to deal with distractions inside the car, what about all of the distractions outside the car? These would include particularly attractive pedestrians walking down the street, like these ladies. Easy, Ron Burgundy. To billboards designed to distract you, to weather and other vehicles. All of these, in some form or fashion, take your attention away from the responsibility of driving. Personally, I think the passenger known as the crying baby would be the biggest distraction, but that is not what we see the commercials about or what other drivers complain about. The current biggest problem here is the awful cell phone and his friend, the PDA. Here's the key to this subject. Your age group loves their cell phone and old people don't. So the main role of this course is to help you survive and be a collision-free driver. Let's realize that to survive, we may need to compromise. The old people may not be so wrong here. Leave the cell phone alone. Let's think about this for a moment. What text message or phone call is going to happen that is going to make you a better driver? Easy. It reads or sounds like this. Look out for that tree! But you can't because you're reading or listening to that phone and not driving. There is no text message or phone call that is going to make you a better driver. Successful driving means focusing on the art of driving. Set the distractions aside. Think of it like this. When you're behind the wheel, this is your time. Do not let anyone or anything interrupt your driving. Controlling your impulses to change the radio, read a text or billboard, or reach for food is a great way to develop maturity, which leads to a happier life. And remember, happier people are more likely to make better decisions. Now that we have identified many of the distractions that drivers face, how do they affect us? Distractions affect drivers one of three ways. There are manual distractions that take your hand or hands off the wheel. These would be things like changing the radio station or volume, eating, drinking, or brushing your hair, glamour boy, or reaching for something that may have fallen. This type of distraction can be minimized through good judgment. What? Good judgment comes from experience. Good drivers have the discipline to either pull over and stop, or they wait until they are at a stoplight or stop sign where they will have a safe, still moment to look at exactly what they want to grab or change and quickly take their hands off the steering wheel to do it. So manual distractions affect our ability to steer the car. The second type of distraction is the cognitive distraction. Cognitive distractions lead us to simply take our mind off of the job of driving. These distractions actually can be endless. It just depends on how focused a person you are. I cannot stress the importance of staying focused while driving. Drivers admitting they were simply not paying attention is one of the leading causes of all traffic collisions. Remember how our emotions play a role in our decision making as well? These memories tend to creep into your mind while you're sitting at a red light, and boom, you are not focused on driving and are more likely to make a mistake while driving. Driving must be mistake-free. Finally, there are the visual distractions, which seem to come from everywhere. I think the most significant visual distraction to a driver these days is the cell phone. If you see it light up from a text or call, it is so tempting to answer. Now we have a manual and visual distraction. Your focus on your driving has been replaced with what is going on with your cell phone. An excellent driver is made up of coordination, quickness, patience, and wait, here it comes, great vision. So when you look at the phone, you can't be doing as good a job at driving as you could. Great drivers have the discipline to stay focused on driving and the wisdom to know what is relevant in their visual search pattern and what is just a distraction. If it is a distraction, they set it aside and stay focused on the relevant clues to successful driving, like traffic signs and other cars.